This room was called the flower room for obvious reasons.
As the chamber looked at the very
It was
beginning, you
still
see
a
the bed
bedroom.
area. Light a bit elevated with the silver. This was the original decoration. And only some years later it was designed as you still see it today. Yeah, so gloss painting, and this was also very modern and very expensive. If you were commissioned to design such a chamber, yeah, you earned a lot of money. What you see as flowers again, as fruits, as garlands, this is all carved. It's linden wood, yeah, linden tree. Yes. Yeah. And all the fruits you see, you could all find in the park. You see the figs, the pomegranates. You had so many greenhouses in the park. 80% of the park were really in use. No? Melons were here planted, pineapples. No? And what the king liked most were the cherries. It is said there were once cherries in March. Yeah? And you got per cherry 3 thaler. No? So the son of the composer, Johann Sebastian Bach, he earned per year 300 thaler. Yeah, so it was quite a lot of money. No? The chandelier above you, it's, how it's called in English, let's think about it. Messing, it's messing, do you know the word for messing?
Porcelain?
No, porcelain is from France, but it's metal. The chandelier itself.
Metal.
It's kind of metal, yeah? So you see how you also with this kind.
These very plain rooms here were the servants' accommodation, and right here is Frederick the Great, aged 68, by Andy Warhol. Interesting. Just plain, nothing at all.
And if somebody wants to steal,
This is Frederick the Great's grave, but he wasn't actually buried here until 1991.
He was a French pharmacist.
And the potatoes were an important crop in the 18th century.
Took care for it that the potatoes are planted, and therefore the guests doing it. No?
And over here are the graves of Frederick's dogs.
Doing it, not me, no? Yeah. By the way, when you see his menu, he did not eat the potato. Only the next pig. He ate the potatoes. Yeah? And yeah, we have seen here for the cut of banana, no? Yeah.
You can just see the inscription, Frederick the Grocer.
With the wings, no? Zephyr, symbolizing the mild southwest wind.
These metal trellises here serve no other purpose than to hide the exterior of this wing of the palace. Very elaborate. And these are parts of the gardens in front of the palace with a very handsome fountain.
This is the front elevation of the Sanssouci Palace. And the name is there above the main entrance, which is apparently a little unusual for palaces to be named.
Front elevation of the palace again. It's a very handsome building. We're just walking down into the gardens now. This style of garden was called parterre. I can't quite remember why. And behind these doors here are fig trees. There was a lot of fruit grown here. The fountain is surrounded by 12 statues, all representing something to do with the seasons, I believe, and the winds. But there is so much information to take in, it's not really possible. You need a good guidebook and a lot of time. The flower beds are in bloom at this time of the year, and they are beautifully tended and look very pretty.
A bit asymmetrical, but remember the windmill was your first.
From here we can see the orangery, and behind it the windmill, which is turning now. There's just enough wind to turn it. Very nice prospect indeed. On top of this sculpture up here, on top of the orangery, shows cherubs planting orange trees. A little bit difficult to see because the stonework needs cleaning.
Where she's, and this was made here in this building. When you see the film, Catherine the Great from 1994, definitely also exists in English. And
We have a wedding procession in classic cars.
This is the Sicilienhof Palace. By German palace standards, quite a modest affair, and built in the style of English Elizabethan architecture. This is where the Four-Power Potsdam Conference took place, in this very building in 1945 to settle the partition of post-war Germany. There is a lot of restoration going on in this building at the present moment, and our guide tells us that there's not very much to see inside anyway. So we'll content ourselves with the outside. We've just walked through these arches to the inner courtyard, I suppose you might call it. Very calm and peaceful in here. But there's certainly nothing very special about this building. Quite a lot of tour parties in today. A large group down there which doesn't belong to us.
Oh, is that going?
Well, you've got an hour. And there's a rather nice central feature in the courtyard. I suppose it's a fountain when it's working. But there's certainly nothing to see in there except rubbish. This is the large lake, and it's actually big enough to have cruise boats on. There's just one passing there behind this tree. There it is, just coming into view. This is the Heidelberg, the Holy Lake. As palaces go, this is a very modern construction. It was started in 1912 or 1913. The outbreak of the First World War stopped it until it was continued in 1918. And it's undergoing extensive restoration at the present moment. Lots of scaffolding. So it's not everybody's idea of a castle. We are here in Potsdam on the main street. We've just had a very nice lunch and our coach is leaving in about 25 minutes. The weather has brightened considerably, and in the middle of the main street here is a street musician playing the xylophone, and he's very good.